G'day viewers, and welcome to this week's Racing Base preview. We've got Australia Cup Day at Flemington and Coolmore Classic Day at Rosehill Gardens. Three big Group 1 races coming at us. So to help me find a winner, as usual, I've got Rick Chapman on the other line. Rick, how are you, mate?
I'm very well for a man of my habits. I think we can win at Kambla, the big Murray Day on Friday, and then back up and just turn our cash into a fortune on Saturday. That's how confident I am.
Sounds like a good plan. So how are we going to do that, Rick? We're going to kick off at Flemington. We've got the Newmarket coming up as the first of the Group 1s. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, well, I've done the map on it, and it's. I don't think there's going to be a lot of pace. I know I was listening to Michael Hawkes earlier today talk about the fact that they don't ever look like they run fast times in these sort of races, but they do the mid-race sectionals. I just can't see a lot of pace outside of Charmed Harmony and possibly Secret Agenda with her tiny weight going forward. But to me, if there's not a great deal of pace, that makes it tough for Tarquin to flash home and produce what he did at Flemington last start. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He's a champion. He's the best sprinter we've seen probably since Black Caviar. So if that's the case, then he might well finish over the top of them. But I'm going to back Delectation. I thought that his run was useful first up, but Waller's horses second up can find 3 or 4 lengths when they have to, especially in Group 1s. And on that premise, Delectation will get the better of Chortakwa in a photo finish. And a bunch of them fighting it out for third, probably Japonas May and the quarterback and counter-attack just behind them. But I'm going to be on Delectation to knock off the champ.
All right, mate. Well, I'm with you. I'm backing Waller to knock off the champ as well. And I hate to do that because I love Chautauqua. He's a great horse, and his mum, Lovely Jubbly, was one of my favourites. And you know, I can see one of Waller's getting the nod over him, but it's not the one that you're with, Rick. I'm going with Japonas May. And the reason for that, I just think Japonas May is a better horse than Brazen Beau. Ran superior time to him, winning the Coolmore Stud Stakes. Brazen Beau then came back, ran second to Lankan Rupee in the Black Caviar Lightning. And he was a fair way off of Lankan Rupee. Japonas May only just missed when he resumed. And as you said, Wallers can, get an extra few lengths second up from a spell. I think Japonas May will be no different. He's following that same pattern as Brazen Beau. And like I said, I think he's a bit better horse than Brazen Beau. And I think counter-attack might set up the pace for him here. He did in the Coolmore. He sat right behind him, got a split and got up and won. So I can't see this being any different. Counter-attack can set up a good speed for him. He'll ping off his back and be too strong.
Well, it's a well-reasoned format there you've got. He's an exceptionally honest horse, Japonas May. I love him to death, and I think it's a shame that he's a gelding because he would have made into a fantastic stallion prospect. But be that as it may, as TJ Smith always said, geldings are only good for race days, and so he's there on race day, and he's going to be hard to beat. I had him being right in the fray for the whole way, but Delectation's tremendous Flemington record got me in the last little bit, so I'm going to go with him. But Chris Waller, he's just a freak.
Yeah, he is at that, Rick. All right, well, there you go. One of Waller's for each of us, Rick. Let's get on to the feature of the day, the Australian Cup. Who do you like there?
It almost sounds like I'm a Chris Waller stalker or devotee, but I think Preferment is the best horse in the field, and I think he finishes way too strongly after. I think Huey will get across. They got that long run from the 2,000 metres there on the back straight, and he'll get across. And there'll be enough pace to get him across on the fence, I reckon. Bow Creek on his outside, they'll be sitting midfield, and he'll just keep following Fenway up on the inside, and she'll get out when they straighten up, and he'll find space, and he'll just put that big long neck of his out, and he'll stretch past the early leader Suavito, who I believe will be very brave. But Preferment for mine, he'll finish too strongly, win from Suavito and Fenway in third. But great race run coming up. I question whether Bow Creek is a really strong 2-minute 2,000-metre horse. And if that's right, then Preferment will find chinks in his armour.
Yeah, well, Preferment won the Turnbull Stakes second up at that track and trip last campaign, Rick. So second up here, he could be on track to do the same thing. So the only thing is I didn't like the time he ran in the Turnbull. The time wasn't flash. It was marginally quicker than Suavito's when she won at the track and trip. So I've gone away from that form, Rick. I'm going with a real eye catcher last start in Al Ivanhoe. He was huge. If he'd got the run that Bow Creek had got, he would have won. He was just flying and had to be pulled up. So knowing Lee Friedman would have left plenty in the tank, and he'll improve second up. And we know he's a good horse. He's a really classy Group 1 performer. So tough race. I think there's many chances in there, but I'm going for Al Ivanhoe.
Yeah, terrific run, but he might just get caught on the fence from barrier 1 there all the way. Who knows how good he is? Him and Bow Creek in particular. You just don't know how good they are. They've shown glimpses of being outstanding, but if he runs up to his European form, he can blow this lot away. Al Ivanhoe. But great race coming up. I'm looking forward to backing Preferment. I consider him to be a quality racehorse. He'll be outstanding in the spring. I don't think we've seen the best of Preferment yet. And Chris Wallen doesn't put a horse in second up from the spell in a 2,000-metre Group 1 race unless he's got it ticking along perfectly. So, yeah, they might be worth the exacta. Preferment and Al Ivanhoe. I've thrown some. Sorry?
Both at $6 each, Rick.
Oh, is that right? Yeah,
yep.
Well, so that'll do me. If I can get 13-2, sorry, 650 or 7-1 Preferment, I'll be very, very happy. I was just about to say I've thrown in Suavito for second because I just don't think there's going to be any great pace outside of her, and she probably just leads with Awesome Rock on her outside and Fenway getting the beautiful sit behind them, but with Preferment just behind them. But stranger things have happened. Great race coming up, as the Australian Cup always is.
Yeah, well, stranger things have happened. Look at last year's result. David Hayes and Tom Dabenig Quinella the race with Spillway and Extra Zero. So they've got 3 lining up on Saturday as well. So although theirs are at juicy odds, I wouldn't put it past one of theirs figuring in the finish either, Rick.
No, which one of that trio will finish in first of that trio?
Yeah, well, Al Moonquith, you'd think he wants longer, but Walker got the winning ride last year, and he takes that ride, and he's probably sticking with him because he's on a Sydney Cup campaign anyway. But I don't know, good surprise.
Yeah, I just don't know whether he's going to be quick enough over the last 200 or 300 metres, with weight for age of 2,000 metres.
Yeah. All right, well, that's Melbourne covered, Rick. Let's get over to Rosehill Gardens. Got the Coolmore Classic over there. Have you got one picked out for us?
I do. I think this race is a lot easier to find than those 2 Melbourne races. I think this is a battle in 2. Solicit and Ghisoni. They both ran interesting yet very fast times on the same day at Randwick last start. I know that the 3-year-old meets Solicit a lot better at the weights. But, Corey Brown might ride a kilo over, so it's not going to be as flash as what it looks on paper in terms of weight difference. I just like Solicit. I just think she's tough. She's come back better than ever. She'll dictate the pace. I can't see the 3-year-old crossing her early, so she's going to have to be on her outside. And when the blowtorch is on 400 from home, I just believe the 2 of them will just get away from the rest of the field, and Solicit will be too strong. She's got 1,600-metre form, and I'm looking forward to backing her. I think you get 6 or 7 to 1 her, you're doing well, and you're going to win.
Yeah, I don't think it's that simple, this one, Rick. I'm really keen on Zambar in this. At healthy odds, you look at the way she flashed home first up behind Solicit in that track record time. Zambar will improve. Second up last campaign, she was really unlucky when finishing a length behind the winners in the Festival Stakes. So second up, she's going to perform under John Thompson. And the weight pull that she gets on Solicit, she gets 4 kilos on her from that last start, and she's only finished a length off of her. So I think with the right run, Kath O'Hara might be able to steer Zambar into the money.
Well, you'd love to see Kathy get a Group 1 win after losing the ride on Scarlet Rain and the Golden Slipper next week. And I'm a big fan of Kathy's. She does come into it well, Zambar, but being drawn on the fence might be a bit tough. She's going to have to find a way out. Just not sure whether she's up to them. She ran in the Villiers in December and didn't get sighted, so no, I don't think she's quite up to them. But anyway, it was a huge run. She loomed up to win that race at Randwick. I was on solicit for a big whack when she ran the course record, and Zambar loomed up to win that race, but solicit was a bit too tough.
That's right, and Solicit had a couple of runs under her belt. Zambar looks like she peaked on that run being first up. I just think that weight reversal and that extra fitness, if she gets the run and she gets clear in the straight, she'll be charging home, I think, Rick.
Yeah, well, it's
people.
There you go. I haven't got her in my top 4, I don't think. I might be able to run 3rd or 4th, but I just think these 2 speed horses will just race away from them.
We've also got Ascadelia coming up from Melbourne as well, Rick. So we just don't know how good she is yet, and she's obviously a quality mare. So adds some extra form to the race, doesn't it?
It does. It's another form line, and of course you've got the perennial good horse Lucia Valentina, who goes well fresh, but she's got too much weight. Ascadelia is a wonderful mare. There's no question she's outstanding, but gee, it's a big ask coming to Sydney, running in a Group 1 against proven speed horses who are not going to get tired. I think she's got the job ahead, Ascadelia. But then, of course, Queensland have got a representative with Tinto, who's a good mare on a day.
Yeah, another Group 1 winner.
Yeah, that's it. It is a really tough field, but I just feel in my bones that the 2 speed horses will get away from them, and that'll be it.
Yeah, well, I suppose the one thing I'm looking forward to with that race as well is seeing how good Gasoni is. I know James McDonald, he said, this is the horse that he was most excited about riding during the autumn. And when you look at the quantum leap she made from last campaign to this campaign already, when she turned up first up and she was clearly underdone, this could be a special one.
There is a very strong opinion within the Godolphin camp that she is special. I just think she's 1 year too soon. But she had a tooth abscess 6 weeks ago and missed a lot of training, and yet still ran, that phenomenal time the other day on her ear, it looked like. So this is something really special. John O'Shea will tell you that he's probably the best horse in the stable. But again, right in the deep end, Group 1, had only a 4th start in the race over a distance she's never been at. So, yeah, very, very smart horse, but 1 year too soon, I think.
Yeah, and I noticed you're sporting your Godolphin blue this morning as well, Rick.
Got the Godolphin blue on. There's a race at Kembla today, maiden race. It's got 2 Godolphin horses in it. It's one of the best maiden fields I've ever seen. Now I do like Godolphin horses normally, and they've got a very strong hand at Rose Hill on Saturday. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
But the big question is, will they have 3 or 4 runners in the Golden Slipper? And speaking of Godolphin, and I love 2-year-old races, they're probably my favourites. Will Calliope for Godolphin bounce back in the Magic Night, or the Bede Murray Magic Night Stakes as it is now? I think she will, and force her way into the Golden Slipper, which will then give James McDonald a massive headache. Who does he ride, Calliope or Stern in the Slipper?
Well, it's a headache I think a few jocks would love to have, Rick.
Oh, would they ever? Yeah.
No, I've tipped her on Saturday, Calliope. I've also gone for Old North for Godolphin as well, and General Ife later in the day. So in my Rose Hill best, I'm tipping them to have a big day. So I ended up with 5 out of 8 winners last week, and some at some good prices. So hopefully another good Saturday coming.
Well, they'll kick off the day. Hartnell looks across the line in the first. If you get $2.40 him, I think you're doing really well, and you should just bet up and bet up again. Yeah,
well, maybe a massive day on the cards for Godolphin. Well, that's this week covered, Rick. Anyway, we've got the Group 1s covered. Head to bettingpro.com.au, guys, if you're after any of our other weekend tips for Rose Hill, Flemington, Gold Coast and Morphettville. And everyone enjoy a great day of punting, and best of luck.
Yes, enjoying the banter that is growing by the day on the racing tips that we run. I love getting on there and seeing everybody's different thoughts on how races will be run and quality of horses. A lot of people have dropped off capitalist. Oh, I just say good on them. More money for us, loyals.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll discuss that one later, Rick. And good luck to yourself on the weekend, mate.
Good on you. You too. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.